Hello, my name is Kelly Sampson. I live in the beautiful North Georgia mountains, where the highest mountain peak in Georgia is called Brasstown Bald. I have taught school for 14 years, primarily first grade. I am very much into authentic learning. I believe that if you give students choices and they get to pick something they're interested in, that you have engagement. I like to use performance assessments, like to give students time to do discovery and experimentation. I like for them to think, use technology. I've used, whenever new technology comes, I'm right on it. iPad, smartboard, interactive. So that's a little bit about my background in teaching. We're supposed to think about someone who made a big impact on us in school, and these are all the places that I've been to school. And I had to think, in those institutions, probably the thing that's impacted me the most has been drama and art and music, which is a little odd. But I think it goes back to traditional classrooms where they're just getting you to regurgitate facts and they're not asking you to think very deeply or do any kind of projects that are interesting. I think that has a great deal to do with it. Also, the thing that has really impacted my life the most as far as learning goes are my parents. My dad was an artist and an architect, and my mother went to art school before she got married. And my parents never talked to me like I was a little kid. They never did the baby talk or anything. They went ahead and used vocabulary, and they put that vocabulary in context within a sentence, so that I didn't even have to really ask. I could just learn the meaning of words through context. They encouraged me to read. We listened to classical music. We went lots of interesting places. And so really my parents had the biggest impact on my learning, my education, and really the way I see myself now and what I'm pursuing as a job. So, and the other individual who's probably had a great impact on me is Howard Gardner. Now, when I took classes at North Georgia College about for education, I just thought this was normal. That Howard Gardner and his multiple intelligences and how he talked, the metacognitive constructivist view, that this was all going to be right there when I went to teach. And I found out that that's not the case. Public schools have to kowtow to the big test, and administrators, forgive me, Dr. Valley, but the administrators in my area seem to be more concerned with covering themselves and appearing to look good on paper. I was part of a curriculum or instruction committee. In fact, I was the head of it because nobody else wanted to do it. But I downloaded the school improvement resource guide, and the last thing that they wanted you to do was to do paper pencil drill and practice. They really focused on performance assessments, and when the SACS committee came to our school, um, if you used their scoring system as a rubric, we scored about a 68. And it was in these areas. And so we got a new principal, and I was taken off that committee and not put on another one. Anyway, so this quote has a lot of meaning for me. I'd rather see the United States as a beacon of good work and good citizenship rather than as number one on some international educational measurement. I have thoughts about that as well. I think other countries go at things a little differently than we do. In fact, they don't disaggregate data like we do about free and reduced lunches, special ed, low socioeconomic groups, different nationalities, and the No Child Left Behind idea. When I read um, some work by the PIRLS group, that actually the lower performing students are increasing in their abilities, where the higher performing students are actually decreasing. So we got some real problems. But I am hoping that in my career, I will be able to make a difference, whether it's with college students or in the business area, helping people to be successful at what their dream is. That's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do when I was a teacher, and hopefully I'll really be able to do that in my pursuit as a e-learning and tech presenter, designer, whatever capacity I may find myself in.